Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Yes. Welcome back. Hare Krishna, Shri Hare Radha Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Guru and Garanga ki jai. Thank you for joining, giving a wonderful association this morning. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Shivani Mataji. Dandat pranam to you and all Vaisnava. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Vrinda.
Hare Krishna, Vrinda Gopika Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Guru and Garanga ki jai. Thank you for joining, giving a wonderful association this morning. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Shivani Mataji. Dandavat pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi from Texas College Station.
Hare Krishna, Vanita Gandharvika Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Guru and Garanga ki jai. Thank you so much for joining, giving a wonderful and beautiful association this morning. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances, Shashwat Prabhupada. This is Preeti Vilasni Devidasi from Advaita.
Hare Krishna, Preeti Vilasni Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Guru and Garanga ki jai. Thank you so much for joining and giving a wonderful and beautiful association this morning. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandot Pranams, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Sumi from San Mateo, California. Vrinda Mataji, I'm sorry, but I tried this morning. There was some problem with my network or the modem or something. So I couldn't join on time. I'm so sorry. I missed.
That's okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Dhammi Pranam.
Hare
Please
Krishna.
accept my humble obeisances. Sumi Mataji, thank you for joining and giving a beautiful association this morning. Is this your first time, Mataji, joining?
Joining this call?
Yes.
No,
for-
Mataji. I've been for a few months, I think I've been joining.
Oh, great, great.
Yeah.
We're very happy to have your association. Shri
Hare
Prabhupada ki jai, Guru and Garanga ki jai.
Pleasure
Thank
is
you for
all mine.
joining. Hare Krishna, Dhamma Pranams.
Mataji, shall we read the quote?
Quote?
Yeah.
Sure. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, Hare Krishna, dear devotees, once again, I welcome you all for joining this mid-morning session. I would like to start by sharing a quote by Srila Prabhupada Ji. There is no limit to perfection. We may go on improving more and more, and still, there is no limit to how much we may please Krishna. Just like for the materialistic, there is no limit to how much Maya can kick us.
Some things to complete.
Letter to Bhagavanta, December 22nd, 1971. Good morning, dear devotees. Once again, I welcome you all for joining this Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call for this mid-morning session. Today, we are very fortunate to have His Grace, Hari Parshad Prabhuji. Hari Parshad Prabhuji will be enlightening us on Bhagavad-gita and the Vaishnava's acharyas. Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. Shri Hari Parshad Prabhuji, thank you for giving your valuable time and wonderful association this morning. Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Guru and Garanga ki jai. Please take over the call whenever you're ready, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mataji, for kindly inviting me. My sincere thanks to Preeti Vilasini Mataji for kindly inviting me today here to speak something on Bhagavad-gita and the Vaishnava acharyas. I'm very grateful to each and every one of you that I have been invited here to speak something. And tomorrow is Mokshada Ekadashi, and it is considered by some individuals to be the day on which Bhagavad Gita was spoken. So I'll begin my speech with Mangalacharan, auspicious invocations. Most of us know these verses. You can kindly sing along with me. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले सोऽयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल। Thank you once again, dear devotees, for kindly being here today on Bhakti Sangha Japa Conference. I'm very honored to be invited here. Thank you, Priti Vilasini Mataji, and all the wonderful organizers of Bhakti Sangha Japa Conference for giving me the honor of speaking something on Bhagavad-gita and the Vaishnava acharyas. I'll begin my presentation on this particular topic. Dear devotees, you'll be able to see the screen now. So, Bhagavad-gita and the Vaishnava acharyas. This is the topic of presentation today. And the Bhagavad-gita has various commentaries, dear devotees, but the commentaries of the Vaishnava acharyas are special amongst them because the greatest number of commentators on Bhagavad-gita have been from the Vaishnava Sampradayas. So today, honoring not only the Gita, but also the various commentators on the Bhagavad-gita, I'd like to speak something on Bhagavad-gita and the Vaishnava acharyas. Dear devotees, I'll begin with a statement from His Divine Grace, Abhay Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada says, the Bhagavad Gita is the approved Vedic literature accepted by all the great acharyas, such as Sri Shankara, Ramanuja, Madhva, Chaitanya, Vishwanath, Baladev, Siddhanta Saraswati, and many others. In that Bhagavad Gita, the personality of Godhead Shri Krishna asks that one always be mindful of him, always be his devotee, always worship him only, and always bow down before the Lord. And by doing so, one is sure to go back home, back to Godhead without any doubt. This is from the purport to Srimad Bhagavatam, 2nd Canto, Chapter 9, verse number 22. Dear devotees, Srila Prabhupada is emphasizing here that the Bhagavad-gita is approved by all the great acharyas that have been from all the various sampradayas, Vedic sampradayas. And it is for this reason that the Gita has a very special place amongst all literature. The reason is that Gita is that particular literature which has directly come from the mouth of Shri Krishna. Srila Sridhar Swami, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's favorite commentator on the Srimad Bhagavatam, has also written a commentary on the Bhagavad-gita. Srila Sridhar Swami, in his commentary to the Bhagavad-gita, in the introduction, he gives a verse. Gita sugita kartavya kimanyai shastra vistarai ya swayam padmanabhasya mukhapadmad vinisrita. Gita sugita kartavya. Make this Gita sugita, which means this Bhagavad Gita is a lady, Gita is feminine gender. So Gita sugita kartavya. Sugita, you should be able to sing it nicely. So memorize and sing sweetly this Bhagavad Gita. Kim anyai shastra vistarai. What need is there to elaborate on other scriptures? Why so? The reason is because ya swayam padmanabhasya mukha padmad vinisrita. There may be many other literature. There's an ocean of Vedic literature. But amongst all the literature, there is one particular literature which has come directly from the speech of Bhagavan. And that is Bhagavad-gita. All other literature have been compiled by Vyasadeva. The four Vedas, they were divided by Vyasadeva. Then within the four Vedas, all the Brahmana literature and all the Upanishads, etc., they were also compiled by Sri Vyasadeva. Then there are itihasas such as Mahabharata and Ramayana. So in the itihasas, we have Mahabharata, and inside Mahabharata, we have a special literature named Srimad Bhagavad-gita. And this Bhagavad-gita is the crest jewel of the Mahabharata. Because within the entire Mahabharata, this is that particular literature which Bhagavan intended to speak for the entire humanity. So Gita Sugita Kartavya. So this is that literature which should be memorized and sung nicely because it was directly uttered by Bhagavan. Although all Shabda Brahma, all Vedic literature has arisen from the breathing of Bhagavan. But this Bhagavad Gita is special because it was also spoken directly by Bhagavan, the devotees. Now, a question arises that if Bhagavad Gita is Bhagavan's direct words, then why are there so many different interpretations of the Bhagavad Gita? Some acharyas interpret it in a non-dualistic way. Some acharyas interpret it in a dualistic way. What is the reason that so many personalities interpret Bhagavad Gita in so many ways? To understand this fact, dear devotees, let's go to one of the sections of the Brihad Aranyak Upanishad. In the Brihad Aranyak Upanishad, in the 5th section, there is a particular incident wherein 3 categories of living entities, the Devatas, the gods, the humans, and the Asuras, the demons, they go to Prajapati Shri Brahma and they reside near him for some time and they practice brahmacharya, etc. because they want to understand from him what they should be doing in their particular life. So although all three categories of living entities, the devatas, the humans, the asuras, they have been given literature for their particular species. But they wanted to understand from Prajapati Shri Brahma what is that particular thing that they should be doing which will definitely lead them to the path of dharma. So first, after staying near Brahma for some time, first the devatas headed by Indra approached Shri Brahma and asked Shri Brahma what is their duty. Shri Brahma replied, gave a single syllable answer. The answer that Shri Brahma gave was the. This is the only syllable that Shri Brahma uttered. The devatas headed by Indra, etc., understood the meaning of this syllable, the. The meaning of this syllable, the, was dhamma, control of the senses, self-control. So the devatas understood that on the heavenly planets there is such sense enjoyment that most of the time is spent simply in these various activities of sense enjoyment. Sometimes there is individual sense enjoyment. Sometimes there is collective sense enjoyment on the planet named Swarga. So much time is spent in sense enjoyment that if they really wish to progress on the path of dharma, they should have the. The means dhamma. After the devatas, the humans approached the rishis, the sages, they approached Prajapati Shri Brahma, and they also asked the same question. And Shri Brahma again replied with the. Now, since these were rishis, enlightened human beings, they understood that this the stands for dan or charity. Now, why dan? So the reason why Shri Brahma told them dan is because humans are mainly karma yoni. Karma yoni means they perform various karma according to their varna and ashrama. But if there is one thing which all of them can perform, which will lead them to the path of dharma, that is dan or charity. And charity to the proper recipient at the proper time, place, and with a proper mood. So Shri Brahma said the dan. Finally, the asuras, the demons, approached Shri Brahma and asked the same question. What should we do? And Shri Brahma again replied with the. Now, the meaning of the here was daya. And the asuras understood that since they are very cruel in their behavior, and since they are always committed to violence in their lives, killing animals, killing other living entities is within their family lineages. Therefore, Shri Brahma wanted to tell them daya. So, all these three categories of living entities got the same instruction, the from Shri Brahma. Dear devotees, the import of this particular pastime is that the same instruction is understood in different ways by different living entities who have different adhikars or eligibilities. Same is the case with Bhagavad-gita. The Bhagavad-gita, the 700 verses which we have today, are same for all the acharyas who wrote commentaries upon them. But depending upon the nature of faith that they had, they have interpreted it differently. In the Brahma Samhita, Shri Brahma himself says something. Yadrishi Shraddha Siddhir Bhavati Tadrishi. Yadrishi Shraddha. According to the nature of one's faith, Siddhir Bhavati Tadrishi. One gets a particular realization. So according to the nature of one's Shraddha in Bhagavad-gita, one gets a particular realization. So this is the reason why there have been so many commentators. And each commentator has tried to understand the Bhagavad-gita in so many different ways. Dear devotees, Kapila Muni in the 3rd canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam also confirms this fact. In the 3rd canto, he says, Jnana matram param brahma paramatmeshwarah puman drishyadibhi prithak bhavair Bhagavan eka iyate. Bhagavan eka. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is eka. He is single. Iyate, but he is understood. Prithak bhavair. In different moods. Drishyadibi, because people have different processes, different moods to understand Bhagavan. So some understand that Eka Bhagavan as Jnana Matram Param Brahma. They understand that Bhagavan as that undivided, undifferentiated, attributeless, impersonal Brahman, full of knowledge. Some understand that Eka Bhagavan, that one Bhagavan as Paramatma, or the super soul within the heart, the witness and sanctioner of all activities of the living entity. And some understand him as Ishvara, the supreme controller of the universes, Puman. So different people understand him in different ways. But does it mean that the truth is multifold? No. Bhagavan Eka. The truth is Eka, is singular. And what is that truth? Bhagavan. So dear devotees, the truth will never be dual. Truth will be non-dual. But it will be understood in different ways by different personalities who have different visions and different processes for attaining perfection. The Supreme Personality of Godhead alone is complete transcendental knowledge. But according to the different processes of understanding, he appears differently, either as impersonal Brahman, as Paramatma, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or as the Purush Avatar. So dear devotees, in this way, we also got Srimad Bhagavad-gita with different acharyas giving different understandings of the absolute truth. Some acharyas understand the absolute truth as the impersonal Brahman. And this tradition begins with Shri Adi Shankaracharya. Dear devotees, Shri Adi Shankaracharya is the earliest known commentator on the Bhagavad-gita. He is not the earliest, but the earliest known commentator. In his own introduction to the Bhagavad-gita, he has written that there were many commentaries before me, and those commentaries were giving various opinions. But I am trying to give what is the highest truth in my commentary. But we do not know the names of the commentators prior to Shri Adi Shankaracharya, because he does not name any commentator in his particular commentary. What is Shri Adi Shankaracharya's philosophy, dear devotees? Although today's presentation is on Vaishnava acharyas, but it's important to understand that the Vaishnava acharyas were speaking against a particular philosophy, and that philosophy is Advaitavad. There's one acharya, Shri Adi Shankaracharya, who supports Advaitavad, and there are at least 12 or 13 acharyas who oppose Advaitavad. At least, I am saying. And these 12 or 13 are from different schools. Now, Shri Shankaracharya may have many acharyas within his school who support his Advaitavad. But the opposers of Advaitavad come from different schools. So what is Advaitavad? So the Advaitavad philosophy is as follows. That whatever is seen in front of us and whatever is not seen, whatever exists, can be divided into two sections. Sat, the absolute truth, and Asat, what is not the absolute truth. Sat, the absolute truth, is only one. And that absolute truth is denoted as Brahma. Actually, no name can become applicable to that absolute truth, because that absolute truth has no name, no form, no attributes, no color, nothing, no attributes. So that attributeless absolute truth is denoted by one name, Brahma. And that Brahma, that impersonal absolute truth, is the main object which has been specified in the commentaries of Shri Adi Shankaracharya. That impersonal Brahma is eternal. It cannot be tainted by any material qualities. It does not move because it is all pervasive. It does not undergo any transformation. It does not have any shape. It does not mix with anything. And it exists since time immemorial, which is, beginningless time, and it will end. It will exist forever. But whatever we see in front of our eyes, whatever forms that we see in front of our eyes, these forms are made out of Maya. What is Maya? Maya means illusion, Vivarta, Adhyas. These are the names given for illusion. What does illusion look like? For example, if a person is walking in the night and it is dark and there is a rope on the ground, and he sees the rope and accidentally thinks that it is a snake. So attributing snake on the rope is called Adhyas or Maya or Vivarta. So actually the snake does not exist there. It is only a figment of one's imagination that the snake is there. In actuality, the snake is not there. In actuality, it is the rope. So, but this false attribution is known as Adhyas or Vivarta or Maya. And therefore, his philosophy is known as Adhyasavad, Vivartavad or Mayavad. Now, when the living entity, basically the living entity is also covered by Maya. It is living entity is not different from the Brahman, because there's only one entity existing ultimately, that is the impersonal Brahman. The living entity is non-different from the Brahman, but because of Maya, it has become covered. So just as different vessels of clay are nothing but clay, but they have just taken temporary forms. Similarly, these living entities are nothing but one with the impersonal Brahman. But after Maya is destroyed, the illusion is destroyed, they will again become one with the impersonal Brahman. This is Shri Adi Shankaracharya's darshan, Advaitavad darshan. How does the living entity become free? The living entity becomes free by Shravan, by hearing the Upanishads, Manan, by meditating on the Upanishads, the Mahavakyas, the great statements of the Upanishads, Tattvamasi, thou art that, Aham Brahmasmi, Brahma I am, Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. So everything is Brahman. By meditating on these statements, Nididhyasan, Shravan Manan Nididhyasan. So by repeated meditation, by application of these statements, one gets firm Brahma Jigyasa, or one gets firm spirit of inquiry into the absolute truth, which is the impersonal Brahman. But one cannot progress ahead if one is not pure in heart. So in order to purify the heart, one has to perform duties according to Varna and Ashram. So after performing duties according to Varna and Ashram, one's heart gets purified. Finally, one gets eligible to give up that karma, Varna and Ashram. One can take to the path of Jnana. One can take sannyas. And then one can follow Jnana Yoga. And then on that path, by repeatedly performing Shravan, Manan, Nididhyasan, hearing, meditating upon, and contemplating deeply upon the Upanishads, finally one realizes that one is non-different from the impersonal Brahman. This is called Jivan Mukti. Jivan Mukti means liberation within this lifetime. And after death, one finally merges into the impersonal Brahman. This is called Videha Mukti, liberation after death. So this is the philosophy or darshan of Shri Adi Shankaracharya that he has propagated in his Bhagavad-gita and other literature. This philosophy is not accepted by any Vaishnava Acharya. But surprisingly, in the beginning of his Bhagavad-gita commentary, he begins with declaring the superiority of Bhagavan Shri Narayana. This verse was quoted, a part of this verse was quoted by Srila Prabhupada in his Bhagavad-gita as it is. Narayana paro vyakta dandam avyakta sambhavam andasyantastvime loka saptadvipa cha medini. Narayana paro avyaktat. Shri Narayana is superior to the unmanifest material nature. Obviously, when material nature is in unmanifest state, there's only Shri Narayana who is existing. But from that unmanifest material nature has manifested this universe. Andam avyakta sambhavam. And andasyantas, and within this universe are ime loka, planetary systems such as heaven, lower planets, and saptadvipa cha medini, as well as the earth, which consists of 7 continents. So this is Shri Adi Shankaracharya. Before any explorer could explore the continents, the names were very well known. Shri Adi Shankaracharya was around 800 AD, and he wrote there are 7 continents on the surface of the earth. Obviously, this knowledge has come from Mahabharata and the other literature given by Shri Vyasadeva. So he is the first known commentator on the Bhagavad-gita, although there were commentators prior to him. Just a few years after Adi Shankaracharya, there came a very learned personality named Shri Bhaskaracharya. And Bhaskaracharya was against the philosophy of Shri Adi Shankaracharya. And Bhaskaracharya's philosophy was Bheda Bhed. Bheda Bhed means there is simultaneous oneness and difference between the absolute truth and the living entities. So he wrote a commentary, Sri Bhaskaracharya wrote a commentary on the Bhagavad-gita, but we have very few fragments of that commentary surviving today. Fortunately, those fragments were printed in Varanasi. But the first philosopher to oppose Shri Adi Shankaracharya was Shri Bhaskaracharya. Dear devotees. Now, some of us think of Shri Adi Shankaracharya as somebody who is inimical to us. So we have to understand that in the domain of darshan, in the domain of philosophy, we are not expected to have friends or enemies. Actually, in the Bhagavad-gita, it is specified that Pandita Samadarshana. Pandita Samadarshana means those who are learned individuals, they don't see others in terms of friends or enemies. So philosophically, we may not agree with some particular philosophy, that's okay. But we should not turn such philosophers into our personal enemies. Because if we develop rag, dvesh, attachment and repulsion, then the very purpose of Bhagavad Gita will not be fulfilled. So Shri Adi Shankaracharya is not a philosophical enemy or something like that. Shri Adi Shankaracharya, philosophically, we are different from him. Philosophically, we oppose many of the stances taken by him, but we respect him a lot. Sri Jiva Goswami in the Sandarbhas takes his name with great respect, Bhagavad Pad, Sri Adi Shankaracharya, he says. Why? Because today we have Bhagavad Gita as it is. As it is means somebody preserved the Bhagavad Gita's original text for thousands of years. And if they wanted, they could have changed the Bhagavad Gita according to their philosophy. But they did not change even a single syllable uttered by Shri Bhagavan. So, in order to have Bhagavad Gita as it is in the 20th century or in the 21st century, in the 22nd centuries, the acharyas in all the previous centuries also have to maintain the text, original text of the Bhagavad Gita as it is. Only then will we be able to have Bhagavad Gita as it is. So as it is does not mean that it has suddenly come up in the 20th century and previously it was not existing. No, as it is means as it is handed down by the acharyas without making any changes to the original text. That is also one meaning of as it is. Because there have been other literature such as Nyaya Shastra, where many people tried to change the original sutras of Nyaya Shastra in order to fit their philosophies. But in Bhagavad Gita, the acharyas have not changed anything. So whatever was given by Shri Vyasadeva in the Mahabharata, it was passed down as it is by all the acharyas who commented upon the Bhagavad Gita, including Shri Adi Shankaracharya. So for this, we are, we respect him and we are very thankful to him for protecting the text of the Bhagavad Gita, original text of the Bhagavad Gita. But we may not agree with the interpretations that he has given on the Bhagavad Gita. A few years after Sri Adi Shankaracharya, in the southern part of India, a very great Shri Vaishnava Acharya, the descendant of Shri Nath Muni, one of the Alvars, his name was Shri Yamunacharya. He appeared and Shri Yamunacharya wrote a very small set of verses, which was called Gitartha Samgraha. And he is the first Vaishnava commentator, first known Vaishnava commentator after Adi Shankaracharya wrote his commentary on Bhagavad Gita. Shri Yamunacharya, in his introduction to his Gitartha Samgraha, he says, Swadharma Jnana Vairagya Sadhya Bhakyaika Gochara Narayana Param Brahma Gita Shastre Samirita. So directly in the beginning, Shri Yamunacharya declares that Narayana Param Brahma, that Bhagavan Narayan is the supreme Brahman. And Bhaktya Eka Gochara is perceivable only through devotion. And how is that devotion attained? Swadharma Jnana Vairagya Sadhya. Attained only through performing one's duties, transcendental knowledge and detachment. So that Bhagavan Narayan is well described. Samyak iritaha, samiritaha in this scripture, Bhagavad Gita. So directly contrasting the opinions of Shri Adi Shankaracharya. Shri Yamunacharya says that Narayana is Param Brahma. Dear devotees, we have the first Vaishnava philosopher after Shri Adi Shankaracharya to comment on the Bhagavad-gita. This philosophy is known as Vishisht Advaita. What is the meaning of Vishisht Advaita? So, Vishishtayor Advaita. So, the absolute truth is definitely Brahman, is Brahma. But Brahma is not impersonal. Brahma is endowed with infinite divine qualities. That is the absolute truth of the Shri Vaishnavas. The Brahma who is endowed with infinite divine qualities. The absolute truth is not without qualities, is not attributeless. The absolute truth is endowed with infinite qualities. What are the infinite qualities? So, he is Sarveshwar. He is the Supreme Lord of everything. And he is Sarvasheshi. Sarvasheshi means he is the original from whom everything else has come. Everything else is his part and parcel. And then he is Sarva Phalaprada. He gives results to everyone. Sarva Adhar. He is the substratum of everything. He is the foundation of everything. So this particular personality is none other than Shri Narayan, who has infinite mercy, infinite beauty, infinite kind nature towards his devotees, etc. So this is the absolute truth as described by Shri Yamunacharya in his Gita Artha Sangraha commentary. So Shri Yamunacharya, in his childhood, he once went to the local king, and there was a logician in the court of the king. And Shri Yamunacharya, in a very small age, won a debate, big debate against a very reputed logician. From that day onwards, he was known as Alavandar, or the person who conquers. So this is Shri Yamunacharya, and he is the first Vaishnava commentator after Shri Adi Shankaracharya. Immediately following Shri Yamunacharya is Shri Ramanujacharya, who wanted to fulfill Shri Yamunacharya's desires to write some detailed commentaries, and he also wrote a commentary on Bhagavad-gita. Shri Ramanujacharya's commentary is known as Vishisht Advaita Bhashya, the commentary of the Vishisht Advaita school. In the beginning of his commentary, Shri Ramanujacharya says, Yat padambhoruhatyana vidhvastangshe kalmasha vastutam upayatoham yamuneyam namamidam. Yat padambhoruhatyana, by meditating on his lotus feet, vidhvastashe kalmasha, I have been freed from infinite impurities. And vastutam upayatoham, I have attained the actuality, the truth. Yamuneyam, to that Yamuneya. Yamuneya means Yamunacharya, Yamunacharya's literature, or Yamunacharya. Or Yamuneya also means he who is on the banks of the Yamuna, that is Shri Krishna. And to that Yamuneya and to that Shri Krishna Namamitam, I offer my obeisances. So Shri Ramanujacharya begins his commentary by offering obeisances to Shri Yamunacharya and Shri Krishna together in a single verse of his commentary. This commentary is named Shri Vishisht Advaita Bhashya. Vishisht Advaita, as I explained, Brahman is Vishishta. What is the meaning of Vishishta? See, in Nyaya Shastra, there is something called as Visheshan, Visheshya, and Vishishta. Now let me explain what is Visheshan, Visheshya, and Vishishta. I will give you one example. Please keep this example in your mind. Let's say I say blue lotus. Please keep this example in your mind. Blue lotus. So, Visheshan is the adjective. So, in the term blue lotus, what is the adjective? Priti Vilasini Mataji, you can hear me. Please tell me, in the term blue lotus, what is the adjective? Blue is the adjective. So, this adjective is called Visheshan. All right. And Mataji, what is the noun which is qualified by the adjective?
Lotus.
Lotus. So the noun which gets qualified by the adjective is known as Visheshya. So blue is the Visheshan, the adjective. Lotus is the Visheshya, the noun qualified by the adjective. But when the noun includes the adjective, blue lotus, so that adjectivized noun is called Vishishta. So there is blue is a separate attribute, lotus is a separate noun, but blue lotus is Vishishta. So similarly, the absolute truth and infinite divine qualities. So the infinite divine qualities are the adjectives, the absolute truth is the noun, and when the absolute truth is eternally endowed with those infinite divine qualities, it's called Vishishta. So that Vishishta, that absolute truth with infinite divine qualities like the blue lotus, it can be divided into two categories. The absolute truth as the cause of everything and absolute truth as the effect. Whatever we see in the world is the effect, and the absolute truth is also the cause. But the cause is also Vishishta, the effect is also Vishishta. So the cause within the cause is obviously Vishishta, Supreme Brahman, Shri Narayan, and the effect within the effect also he is present everywhere. And the cause and effect, both Vishishtas are Advaita, one. They are not two different. The cause and effect of the material world are not two distinct entities. They are the same entity, Shri Narayan. Vishishtayor Advaitam, Vishishta Advaitam. So both Vishishtas, the cause and the effect, are non-dual. They are the one single truth, eternally endowed with infinite divine qualities, Bhagavan Shri Narayan. This is Vishishta Advaita. So this is the philosophy of Vishishta Advaita. So Vishishta Advaita, in this philosophy also, what is happening is we are saying that the noun is Brahman, that the main entity is Brahman. And Brahman has adjectives, infinite adjectives, since time immemorial, since eternal time. The main entity still remains Brahman. So this is the distinction between Vishishta Advaita Sampradaya and Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. Because in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, we don't just say that the absolute truth is Brahman and, with qualities. We say the absolute truth is Bhagavan. That's the name we give, Bhagavan. So we don't call the absolute truth as Brahma. We call the absolute truth as Bhagavan. And who is Bhagavan? So Bhagavan is he. He has a personality. He's not simply Brahman with qualities. No. He has a personality. So these are minor distinctions between Vaishnava Sampradayas. But on majority of the points, the Shri Sampradaya and the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya align with each other. The main point being that the absolute truth is not impersonal. So the material world as well as the Jiva, in the Shri Vaishnava philosophy, material world and the Jivas are both part and parcels of that Brahma. Brahma, now please remember, in Vishishta Advaita philosophy, Brahma is endowed with infinite qualities. So it's not the impersonal Brahman of Shri Adi Shankaracharya. So both the material world and the Jivas are part and parcel of Brahman. And this Brahman is complete, is full of all divine qualities. And the jiva, by practicing dasatva, sharanagati, surrendering fully unto Shri Narayan, the jiva can attain liberation or mukti. And what is mukti according to Shri Vaishnava Sampradaya? Mukti means to attain Param Dham, the topmost abode, Shri Vaikuntha. And in the topmost abode, there are Mahadevis, the wives of Shri Narayan, Lakshmi, who is known as Shri Devi, Bhu Devi, Leela, and there are many Devis in Shri Vaikuntha. And in their association to serve Shri Narayan in the mood of Dasatva, Kainkarya, as they call it, is the highest achievable goal of the human form of life. In the material world, there are 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether. In the spiritual world, there are 5 divine elements known as Pancha Upanishad. This is the Shri Vaishnava philosophy. And in Vaikuntha, the living entities enjoy infinite bliss in the association of Shri Bhagavan. In order to attain Vaikuntha, one has to perform Sharanagati, or completely surrender unto Shri Bhagavan. See, there is a difference between the path of Bhakti and the path of Sharanagati. There is some difference. What the Gaudiya Vaishnavas follow is called as Bhakti. But what the Shri Vaishnavas follow is called Sharanagati. Sharanagati means whatever condition of life you are in, fully surrender to Shri Bhagavan. Do what is favorable towards your mood of Shri Bhagavan and avoid what is unfavorable. Have full faith that Bhagavan will protect you and maintain you. Have humility and surrender yourself. Dear devotees, this Sharanagati is the main principle for attaining Shri Bhagavan in Vaikuntha. So, this Sharanagati is the main message of the Shri Vaishnava Sampradaya. After Shri Ramanujacharya, there came in Pajaka Kshetra in near Udupi a great philosopher and Vaishnava Acharya named Shri Madhvacharya. In his Sampradaya, he is considered to be an incarnation of Vayudev. In the beginning of his commentary, Shri Madhvacharya writes, Devam Narayanam Natva Sarvadosha Vivarjitam Paripurnam Gurum Changi Tartham Vakshyami Leshatah. Devam Narayanam Natva, having paid obeisances to Shri Narayan, Sarvadosha Vivarjitam, who is free from all faults, Paripurnam, and who is full of all good qualities, Gurums Chan, and to my respected Guru, Chan, the sub-commentator, Sri Jayatirth explains Chan as Sri Vyasadeva. Gitartham Vakshyami Leshatah. I explain in brief the essential meaning of the Bhagavad-gita. Sri Madhvacharya is an Acharya in the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya lineage. His philosophy is named Advaitavad. Advaitavad is the exact diametrical opposite of Advaitavad, the exact opposite of Sri Adi Shankaracharya's philosophy. According to Advaitavad, the main entity is Vishnu, not Brahman. The main entity is Vishnu. In fact, Brahman, the principle of Brahman is subordinate to the personality of Vishnu. He is always full of qualities and is never impersonal. He is the maintainer, creator, and the destroyer of this world. Both the living entity and Bhagavan are Satchidananda. However, there is eternal distinction between the living entity and Bhagavan. There are 5 eternal distinctions which everybody should remember in Sri Madhvacharya's philosophy. What are the 5 eternal distinctions? First, Jiva Ishwar Bhed. There is eternal distinction between the living entity and Bhagavan. Second, Jiva Jad Bhed. There is eternal distinction between Jiva and the material world. Third, Ishwar Jad Bhed. There is eternal distinction between Bhagavan and the material world. Fourth, Jiva Jiva Bhed. There is eternal distinction between one living entity and another living entity. And fifth, Jad Jad Bhed. There is eternal distinction between one material object and another material object. These are 5 eternal distinctions which are eternally existing, and these distinctions are not a product of illusion, because Adi Shankaracharya says any distinction is a product of illusion. These distinctions are not a product of illusion, these distinctions are eternal. All jivas are servants of Shri Hari. This is the clear opinion of Shri Madhvacharya. Amongst the jivas, there are distinctions. Some jivas are higher in caliber, some jivas are lower in caliber. The material world is real and completely controlled by Shri Bhagavan. Now, how does a living entity attain the highest goal, and what is the highest goal? So the highest goal is to attain seva of Bhagavan in Bhagavan's abode, and that is by understanding Bhagavan in Tattva and by performing Bhagavad Bhakti. So by studying the Vedas, by controlling the senses, all these yama niyamas, following all of that, self-study, giving charity, helping the needy jivas, and becoming a servant of Shri Bhagavan, and having complete faith in Hari, Guru, Vaishnavas. This is the philosophy of Shri Madhvacharya. In his Sampradaya, the sub-commentator is named Shri Jayatirth, who was from Maharashtra. And because of the sub-commentator, we are able to understand the writings of Shri Madhvacharya, because some of the Sanskrit that he writes needs explanation. For example, in this verse, Chan refers to Shri Vyasadeva, but this was only understood by me after I read the sub-commentary by Shri Jayatirth. This philosophy is known as Dvaitavad, and his commentary is known as Dvaita Bhashya. And he also, without changing a single syllable in the Bhagavad-gita, has explained the 700 verses of the Bhagavad-gita. Dear devotees, now I would like to make a special mention of a special commentator. His name is Shri Hanuman. Dear devotees, on the battlefield of Bhagavad-gita, Krishna was the speaker and Arjuna was the receiver of Bhagavad-gita. Another person, Sanjay, was also hearing, because Sanjay was gifted divine powers by which he could hear everything in the battlefield. Sanjay came back and narrated it to Dhritarashtra. So Sanjay was one hearer, Arjun was another hearer, Shri Vyasadeva also heard, because Vyasadeva is omniscient. But there's another personality who was hearing the Bhagavad Gita. And which personality was that? Shri Hanuman, because he was situated on the flag of Arjuna. One of the names of Arjuna is Kapir Dhvaja. Kapir Dhvaje Yasya, on whose flag there is Kapi, or the monkey, Shri Hanuman. So Shri Hanuman also heard the Bhagavad Gita, and there is a legend, it's not mentioned in Shastra, there is a legend that after the battle of Kurukshetra, Shri Hanuman approached Bhagavan Shri Krishna and said, I have heard this Bhagavad Gita, which is so nectarian, and I wish to explain this Bhagavad Gita to others. So Bhagavan Shri Krishna said, well, this desire is good, but you cannot explain in this particular body, because in this body you are supposed to serve only the incarnation Shri Ram. Shri Hanuman is also very intelligent. He said, all right, but I will take an astral body, a ghostly body, because he could assume any body he wanted. So he took an astral body, a ghostly body, and in Sanskrit, a ghost is known as Pishach. Pishach. So he took the body of a ghost and he narrated his commentary to a Brahmana, and that Brahmana wrote it down, And this commentary is called Paishach Bhashya. So Paishach Bhashya means the commentary of a ghost. In the beginning of this commentary, there is a very cryptic verse. And this verse is as follows. Sarvam rasam gudara vidharasabho nagamara vegaravim shamantara vela sarasti rakaraja hamsah lokamritam saptashatena puritam. So there was a scholar named Shri Ramakrishna Vidwan who wrote a commentary on this verse in order to help us understand what is the meaning of this verse. So, I, Hanuman, the son of Anjani, am the one who troubled Vidha. You can see Vidha in the first line. The Gudha, the heart of Ravana, by burning his kingdom of Lanka. And just like a divine swan easily crosses over a lake, I crossed over the ocean. In serving the Lord in this way, however, I underwent much trouble. However, while crossing over the nectar ocean of the Bhagavad-gita, filled with 700 nectarian verse-like waves, I found such complete joy, sarvam rasam, that now in every other form of happiness, shamantara, enjoyed by ordinary living entities, I find no joy. Na agam araveg. So this is the introduction verse to the Paishach Bhashya. Some other people say that Paishach is one of the Prakrita dialects spoken in India. So Hanuman was the name of a philosopher who wrote his commentary in a local language named Paishachi Bhasha. And in that language, he wrote a commentary, and from that it was translated into Sanskrit. So actually it's not the Monkey King, it is some Pandit named Shri Hanuman. But anyways, this is a very interesting piece of commentary, and his commentary has been printed. So it is available in Sanskrit. So this is Shri Hanuman, the commentator on the Paishach Bhashya. Then, dear devotees, comes the favorite commentator of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. His name is Jagat Guru, Srila Sridhar Swami. I call him Jagat Guru because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu calls him Jagat Guru. Jagat Guru Sridhar Swami Guru Karimani. Sridhar Prasade Bhagavad Jani. Dear devotees, although Srila Sridhar Swami is initiated in the sannyas order of the Advaita Sampradaya, Shri Jiva Goswami in Tattva Sandarbh, Anuched 28, says, Parama Vaishnavana, Srila Sridhar Swami Padana, he says. Srila Sridhar Swami is Param Vaishnav. He is a Vaishnav of the highest caliber. This is Srila Sridhar Swami. Srila Sridhar Swami, he resided in Kashi, and he had taken sannyas in the Advaita Sampradaya. He wrote a commentary on the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Vishnu Puran, and on Bhagavad-gita. His commentary on the Bhagavad-gita is named Subodhini. He says in the beginning of his commentary, Shesha Shesha Mukha Vyakya Chaturyam Tveka Vaktratah Tadhanam Adbhutam Vande Paramananda Madhavam. Shesha Shesha Mukha Vyakya Chaturyam Tveka Vaktratah. Eka Vaktratah, to him who single-mouthedly bestowed wonderful and expert explanations possible only through the unlimited mouths of Anantashesh. Who is that person? Paramananda Madhav. There's two meanings. His guru is also named Shri Paramanand Madhav, and Paramanand Madhav also means the supremely blissful Madhav. One day, to him I offer my obeisances. So Srila Sridhar Swami's commentary is a very nice commentary on the Bhagavad Gita called Subodhini. It explains the essential meanings, and it is full of devotional insights. So short and sweet, and the commentator doesn't come between you and the main text. This is Srila Sridhar Swami. He explains the main text and gets out of the way so that you can relish the main text. Some commentators come between you and the verse and say, wait, I will explain to you the verse, and then 5 pages of explanation. And then you can only understand the verse through this explanation. But Srila Sridhar Swami is not a commentator like that. He will quickly explain the difficult terms and the correct meanings of those terms. And then you are left with the verse and you understand the meanings. So you and the verse, you can directly release the verse. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu really appreciated Srila Sridhar Swami, because he is not a commentator who gets in the way of the reader and the text. So this is Jagat Guru Srila Sridhar Swami, dear devotees. Now, there's another commentator from the Madhva Sampradaya named Shri Raghavendra Swami. Shri Raghavendra Swami also wrote a commentary following Shri Madhvacharya. His mood was very liberal. In fact, he is regarded as a local saint in the area named Mantralayam, where his samadhi is. In Mantralayam, where his samadhi is, many people from all stratums of the society who revere him as a saint and as a very learned personality come to seek his blessings. And he has a commentary on the Bhagavad-gita. In the beginning of his commentary, he says, Lakshmi Narayanam Matva Purnabodhan Gurunapi Kurmah Shri Krishna Gitaya Bhashyaduktartha Samgraham. This is having paid my obeisances to Lakshmi Narayan and to my all-knowing gurus. I composed this commentary of Lord Krishna's Bhagavad-gita named Artha Samgraha. So this commentary is named Artha Samgraha, and it follows in the footsteps of Sri Madhvacharya. Bhashya Adi Ukta Artha. So whatever Sri Madhvacharya has spoken in his Bhashya, in his commentary, I am also speaking those meanings. So this is Shri Raghavendra Swami. He is a very liberal-minded sadhu from the Madhva Sampradaya, very widely venerated sadhu, dear devotees. Now comes Shri Keshav Kashmiri. Shri Keshav Kashmiri is also, he's from the Nimbarka Sampradaya. And Shri Keshav Kashmiri begins his commentary by composing a verse in the meter Shardula Vikriditam. And his verse is as follows. Yo maya guna dosha lesharahita Swabhavikai sadgunai Swatantrakhila vigyatadya ganitair yukto jajadistuta Bhakta bhishta pradoramaika ramano Vedaika gamyo hiya Tam vande manasagiracha shirasa Gopi priyam Shri Harim. So now you can see some of the Vrindavan flavor coming out. Gopi priyam Shri Harim. So dear devotees, Yo Maya Guna Dosha Lesharahita, who's free, to him who is free from even the smallest trace of Maya's positive and negative attributes. Swabhavikai Sadgunai, Swatantrakila Vigyatadya Ganitaya, who is equipped with countless innate spiritual quantities such as sovereignty, omniscience, etc. Abjajadi Stuta. Abja is lotus, Abjaja is lotus born Brahma. To him who is worshipped by Brahma and others. Bhakta Bhishta Prado, to the wish fulfiller of his devotees. Ramai Karamano, to the only lover and husband of Rama Devi. Vedaika Gamyo, to him who is the only truth to be known through the Vedas. Who is that? Shri Harim, Gopi Priyam, who is dear to the gopis. One day I offer obeisances, Manasa Giracha Shirasa, with my mind, speech and body. So this is Shri Keshav Kashmiri of the Sampradaya of Shri Nimbarkacharya. Dear devotees, this Sampradaya is known as the Kumar Sampradaya and its Siddhanta is called Advaita Advaita Vad. In this Advaita Advaita Vad, Brahma is Sarva Shaktiman, is endowed with all the Shaktis. And he can create, he can maintain, and he can destroy unlimited universes. And this particular absolute truth, Brahma, is also, the Jiva is basically, a particular state of existence of Brahman. but these jivas are eternally separated from Brahman. There is nothing except for this Brahman, who is infinite qualities. So basically referring to Shri Bhagavan only with another name. Jiva is a part and parcel of Brahma. Brahma is the original, the origin of the original entity, not the origin, the original entity. The Brahman, the absolute truth, Brahman with infinite qualities never undergoes any changes. That Brahman is actually Bhagavan Vasudev. And to understand him and to have darshan of Bhagavan Vasudev is liberation for the jivas. The process of attaining liberation is to perform bhakti. This is the Siddhanta of the Sampradaya of Shri Nimbarka-charya, and Shri Keshav Kashmiri is from this particular Sampradaya. They also accept and worship Srimati Radharani along with Bhagavan Shri Krishna. Now, dear devotees, after Shri Keshav Kashmiri, we come to a very rasik commentator on the Bhagavad-gita, Shri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Dear devotees, during the time of Shri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, there was a commentary on the Bhagavad-gita which was very famous. And this commentary was by Shri Madhusudan Saraswati, who was a very big acharya from Shri Adi Shankaracharya's lineage. Shri Madhusudan Saraswati was also from West Bengal, just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he wanted to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but due to some arrangement of providence, he could not meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Shri Madhusudan Saraswati was deeply interested in bhakti. And he wrote a book called Bhagavad-Bhakti Rasayanam, where he explains how Bhagavad Bhakti, devotion towards Bhagavan, is actually a rasayanam, a medicine which can melt the heart and cause the heart to become soft so that one becomes eligible for liberation. But ultimately, Madhusudan Saraswati's aim was the impersonal Brahman. He wrote a commentary on the Bhagavad-gita, which became very famous for having many, many meanings and explaining many things nicely in a very nice, succinct manner. Even in Vrindavan, everybody was singing the glories of the commentary of Shri Madhusudan Saraswati. There was a verse composed in glorification of Madhusudan Saraswati. Madhusudan Saraswatyah param vetti Saraswati, Saraswatyah vetti param Madhusudan Saraswati. So, only Saraswati knows the extent of knowledge of Madhusudan Saraswati, and only Madhusudan Saraswati knows the extent of knowledge of Saraswati. This is the meaning of that verse. The Vaishnavas in Vrindavan always wanted to have a commentary which could supersede the commentary of Shri Madhusudan Saraswati in terms of flavor, in terms of the rasikness of the commentary. Of course, there was one devotee from the Madhva Sampradaya named Shri Vanamali Mishra, who wrote a commentary to refute the commentary of Shri Madhusudan Saraswati. But only refutation cannot do. We need something more rasik, and it has to come from the heart of a person who is fully drenched in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. Dear devotees, we are supremely fortunate that we were blessed with such a personality in the form of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. His Diksha name is Harivallabh Das. That is his Diksha name. And his pen name is Shri Vishwanath Chakravarti. In the beginning of his commentary, he composes a verse glorifying Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Gauram Shukansat Kumuda Pramodi Swabhikkayagos Tamaso Nihanta Shri Krishna Chaitanya Sudhani Dhirme Manodhitishtan Swaratim Karotu. Gauram Shukaha. may Shri Krishna Chaitanya, who is Gaura Amshuka, who wears a cloth with reddish sun like hue, Sat Kumuda Pramodi, who delights the host of gentle lotus-like devotees. Just like the sun delights the lotuses, similarly Chaitanya Mahaprabhu delights lotus-like devotees. Swa Abhikhyaya, by his Abhikhya, by his radiance, just like the sun, it destroys all darkness. Similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by his radiance of knowledge, he destroys ghost tamaso, the nescence of earth or the nescence of the senses. Nihanta Shri Krishna Chaitanya Sudhanidhir me. And may the Sudhanidhi, may the ocean of mercy, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Manoditishtan, while residing in my mind, Swaratim Karotu, may he generate attraction for himself. His commentary is called Sarartha Varshini. Sar Artha, the essential meaning, Varshini, that which showers. That commentary which showers the essential meaning of the Bhagavad-gita. This commentary became so appreciated in the entirety of Shri Vrindavan that people started saying that there is no commentator on the Bhagavad-gita like Shri Vishwanath Chakravarti. A wonderful, wonderful Rasik, through and through Rasik, Acharya from our Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. Dear devotees, we Gaudiya Vaishnavas are indebted to him for writing such a wonderful commentary. But then some people started saying these Gaudiya Vaishnavas are only sentimental people. They don't know how to write Tattva. These people just know how to explain Rasa. If you want to explain commentary of Bhagavad Gita, it should not only be Rasik, it should also have Tattva. So came the disciple of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, who is not Diksha disciple but Shiksha disciple, Sri Baldev Vidyabhushan, who wrote his Gita Bhushan commentary, which is full of devotional meanings taken from the Upanishads, Mahabharata, Bhagavatam, etc. So Sri Baldev Vidyabhushan, and he is the Acharya to whom Srila Prabhupada dedicated Bhagavad Gita as it is, dear devotees. In the beginning of his commentary, Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan says, Satyananta Chintya Shaktya Pakshe Sarvadhyakshe Bhakta Rakshati Dakshe Shri Govinde Vishwasargadi Kande Purnanande Nityamastam Matirme. Satya Ananta Achintya Shakti Eka Pakshe, within the single stronghold of eternally unlimited inconceivable energy. Sarvadhyakshe, in the manager of all living entities. Bhakta Rakshati Dakshe, within the expert rescuer of his devotees. Shri Govinde, within Shri Govinda, Vishwasargadi Kande, the cause of creation, maintenance and destruction. Within that Govinda, Purnanande, within that full manifestation of bliss, Nityamastamratirme, within him, let my mind always find delight. This is the Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy, dear devotees. What is the Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy? The Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy is known as Achintya Bheda Bhed. Achintya Bheda Bhed means absolute truth is Bhagavan. And Bhagavan has unlimited Shaktis. And between Bhagavan and his Shaktis, there is Bhed and Abhed. There is difference and non-difference, but this difference is also inconceivable and the non-difference is also inconceivable. Bhedasya Achintyatvam, Abhedasya Achintyatvam. Bheda is also inconceivable, Abheda is also inconceivable. This Ishwar, Bhagwan has many energies, but his primary energies are categorized into three: Sandhini, Samvit and Hladini. And the living entity is also a Shakti known as Tatastha Shakti. But because the living entity, some of the living entities are eternally turned away from Bhagwan, therefore they are in the material world. There are 5 eternal objects: Ishwar, Prakriti, Kal, Karma, and Jiva. There are 5 eternal objects: Ishwar, Jeev, Prakriti, Kal, Karma. These are 5 eternal objects. And the Jiva is the Tatastha Shakti of Bhagavan. Jiva is also similar in some ways to Bhagavan and also different from Bhagavan. This entire world has arisen from Bhagavan, and Bhagavan is the cause of this world. What is liberation for the Jiva? Liberation is only for the conditioned Jivas, because the liberated Jivas are eternally liberated. They never have to come down to this world. Even Bhagavan does not want to make the liberated entities fall from his world. Bhagavan is not envious of the liberated entities or the conditioned entities. So, in order to attain Bhagavan, the conditioned living entities have to perform Uttama Bhakti. Anya Bhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadyanavritam Anukulyena Krishnanushilanam Uttama. So these dear devotees are the main Vaishnava commentators. Besides that, there is a commentary by Shri Vallabhacharya also. But many of the sections are written by his grandson. So that commentary is not exactly fully written by Shri Vallabhacharya. So these are the main Vaishnava commentators who have kept the Bhagavad-gita as it is, did not change a single syllable, but passed down the original text generation after generation after generation, so that we all have access to the Bhagavad-gita as it is today, that we have by Srila Prabhupada in the English language and various other languages around the world. Dear devotees, these Vaishnava acharyas are especially, we should give our sincere thanks to them, because when they wrote their commentaries on the Bhagavad-gita, there was no printing press. There was no question of becoming a published author. Most of them wrote on palm leaf manuscripts or on paper, and there was no printing press, and some of them did not even know how many years their commentary will survive. So without any hope of becoming a published author within their lifetime, without getting a single dollar or single paisa out of the commentaries that they wrote, dear devotees, all of these various commentators selflessly wrote their commentaries on Bhagavad-gita and kept the Bhagavad-gita as it is, so that today we can print it in millions and millions of numbers and distribute their message throughout the world. Dear devotees, a very interesting fact about the Gita is as follows. Priti Vilasini Mataji, what is the first verse of the Bhagavad-gita? Can you please tell me?
Dhritarashtra dharmakshetre kurukshetre samavetayotsavaha mamakaha pandavaschaiva kim akurvata Sanjay.
This is the first verse, Mataji. It's in front of you. What is the last verse of the Bhagavad-gita?
Yatra yogeshvara.
Yatra Yogeshwarah Krishno, Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara.
Yatra Shri Vaishnava Dhruvaniti Matirmam.
Mataji, what is the essential message of the Gita?
Devotion unto Krishna.
Sarva dharman parityaj mamekam sharanam vraja.
No. I don't want commentaries on I want the direct meaning in the direct words of the Bhagavad-gita.
Manvanam.
Mataji, what is the first
Dharma.
word of the dharma? And what is the last word of the last verse?
Mama.
So take the first word is dharma. And what is the first syllable in dharma?
Dar.
And what is the last syllable in mama?
Ma.
So the entire Bhagavad Gita is situated in dharma in this way, dear devotees. So dharma, for establishing dharma, Bhagwan comes and speaks the Gita. But the Gita itself is situated between dharma. It is situated in dharma herself. Dear devotees, this is the essential meaning of Bhagavad-gita. That dharma is the highest priority in human form of life, And this dharma, according to different adhikaris, is either karma yoga, jnana yoga, ashtanga yoga, or bhakti yoga. This is the essential meaning of the Bhagavad-gita. I'll end with a quote from Srila Prabhupada. Vedic knowledge is not a question of research. Our research work is imperfect because we are researching things with imperfect senses. We have to accept perfect knowledge which comes down as is stated in Bhagavad-gita by the parampara. We have to receive knowledge from the proper source in disciplic succession, beginning with the Supreme Spiritual Master, the Lord Himself, and handed down to a succession of spiritual masters. This is from his introduction to Bhagavad-gita as it is. With this, dear devotees, I'll pause my speech. Yadatra skhalitam kinchid vidvam saha purayantu tat yadatra saushthavam kinchid tad guru reva mene. If there are any mistakes, dear devotees, you're all vidvans, please correct me. If there's anything nice in the presentation, please remember it belongs to my Gurujanas, all of whom maintained Bhagavad-gita as it is. Me nahi, it doesn't belong to me. Thank you very much, dear devotees. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead, Mataji. Go ahead.
No, you thank you, Malcolm, for question.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. Hare Parshad Prabhuji, Jai. Thank you for a very, very beautiful class. Explained so beautifully, so informative. And all the acharyas. Preeti Vilasini Mataji, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Prabhuji, for such a beautiful, beautiful class. The topic was very interesting and the class was super interesting. Thank you for putting in so much information in one condensed format. Thank you. Prabhuji, I have 3 questions. I'm sorry because I'm asking very, very, very silly questions. But I would love to get this clarified through you. This Pishachi Bhasha was very interesting to know. Since it is not really documented or rather not documented in Shastra like you mentioned, what is the philosophy that they ascribed to? Was it Advaita, Advaita, or was it something like Advaita, Advaita? What did he want to, what philosophy he was putting forth in that commentary?
I just mentioned it as an interesting commentary because there is a story ascribed to it.
Mm.
But the Bhashya was studied and printed by Bal Gangadhar Tilak.
Mm.
And he stated that the conclusion in the Bhashya is Advaita. So it is unlikely that it is written directly by Sri Hanuman, but the introductory verse and the name of the Bhashya are designed to make it look as if they are written by Sri Hanuman. That's what.
Interesting. Thank you, Prabhu. And then when you were it was very nice the way you clarified about Vasishtha Advaita and the philosophy that we follow, saying that this is Brahman with attributes, so Vishishta Advaita, so still the Lord is Brahman in one sense, but you're adding attributes. But again, when you were describing about Veda, you were mentioning that again it is Brahman only with infinite qualities.
Yeah, but they call him Vasudev. They start calling him Vasudev. That is what.
Okay.
They do. Yeah, please go ahead.
So I was just curious because the Sri Vaishnavas also call him Narayana. So then how did these people differ from them?
See, the question is, there is one statement. Narayan is Brahma. Another statement.
Sorry, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, there are 2 statements. Narayan is Brahma. And Brahma is Narayan. You understand the difference between the 2 statements?
Very nice. Very nice. True.
So focus should be not on Brahma, focus should be on Bhagwan. That is what the Gaudiya Vaishnavas say.
Beautiful.
Brahma is an aspect of Bhagwan. That is what it is.
Right.
But the main thing is Bhagwan. Who is the main entity in all of creation is Bhagwan. That is what.
Very nice. Yeah. Makes sense, Prabhu. Prabhu, one more question. When you were speaking about Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Baladev Vidyabhushan, I was also reminded of this case when they were the Ramanandis contested the Gaudiya Vaishnava Siddhanta, and later Baladev Vidyabhushan, he writes the Bhashya for the Vedanta Sutra, the Govinda Bhashya. So my question was, did the Ramanandis themselves have a commentary for the Bhagavad-gita? Like you had a list of commentaries. So did they also have a separate commentary besides them claiming to be from Shri Vaishnava?
See, in the initial days, the Ramanandi Vaishnava Sampradaya did not claim to be a separate branch from the Shri Vaishnava Sampradaya.
Mm-mm. Okay.
In recent years, the claim started taking ground that Ramanandis are completely separate and an independent acharya. But during the initial days, they used to say that we are Shri Vaishnava. Even today, the many Ramanandis who say that we are aligned with the Shri Vaishnava Sampradaya. If you go to Vrindavan, there is that which temple? Rangji Mandir.
Mm-mm.
Rangji is pure Shri Vaishnava temple, but there are many Ramanandis also there. Like that. So there are many Ramanandis who say that we are from the Shri Vaishnava Sampradaya. There are some Ramanandis who say that our Sampradaya is independent.
Mm-hmm.
So you will find both varieties of Ramanandis. But in the time of Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan, mainly they were considering themselves as members of the Shri Vaishnava Sampradaya. So that is why they said, no, which of the four Sampradayas do you belong? But that's how the question. Then they themselves have to say that we belong to the Shri Vaishnava. That's how it all happened.
Very nice. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We're so grateful to you. We look forward to you coming to Bhakti Sangha. It's like a festival when you come. So thank you so much for coming and speaking.
Usually I come more often, but since I'm myself, preparing in the weekdays sometimes for Upadeshamritam, and there's a big series going on. So therefore, sometimes I'm not able to, find time to come on Bhakti Sangha and other forums. So kindly excuse me for that, but I hope that, after the Upadeshamritam is done, maybe I'll be having some time. Let's see.
Thank you so much, Ramji. Grateful.
Onkar Prabhuji, please unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Yes.
Thank you for the interesting lecture, Prabhu, and the difference you showed between the Vishishtadvaita and the Gaudiya Sampradaya. Prabhu, I had a question about this Sri Abhinav Gupta. He has written a commentary on Sri Bhagavad-gita, and some recensions have different number of shlokas. So could you please comment on this part?
Some recensions have different number of verses in the Bhagavad Gita. Yes, not only that, Shri Keshav Kashmiri in his Tattva Prakashika commentary, he gives a very, he gives a understanding of how many verses are there in the Bhagavad Gita. So he says that the total number of verses in the Bhagavad Gita are 745. That is what he says. So I will give you the exact thing that he says. I will share my screen, what Shri Keshav Kashmiri says, and you can have a look at the verse. So you can look at the screen. See here. Shat Shatani Savimshani Shlokanam Praha Keshava. So Keshav spoke how many verses? Shat Shatani. 600 Savimshani plus 20. How many verses is that?
620.
620. Arjuna Sapta Panchashat. Arjuna spoke 57. Okay. Sapta Shashtim to Sanjaya. And Sanjay spoke 67. And Dhritarashtra Shlokam Ekam. Dhritarashtra spoke one verse. Alright. So if you add 620 plus 57 plus 67 plus 1, how many will you get?
740.
740. This is the Kashmiri recension of the Bhagavad Gita. Right. So you can find information about the Kashmiri recension of Bhagavad Gita in Keshav Kashmiri. So there is a Kashmiri recension of the Bhagavad Gita. I think the Bhandarkar Oriental Research Institute bought out an edition which has those 745 verses. So if I remember correctly, Bhandarkar Oriental Research Institute brought out the Bhagavad-gita with 745. Interestingly, although Keshav Kashmiri, Shri Keshav Kashmiri says the 745, his commentary is on 700 verses. So I don't know why the dissimilarity between what he wrote and what he commented upon, but at least we know that there is a Kashmiri edition which has 745 verses. That's the answer to your query. Okay?
Yes, bro. Thank you, bro. Done it.
Parima Mataji, please unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. First, thank you so much for this wonderful class. Prabhuji, I had this one question that you said that in the Gaudiya, in our Sampradaya, we consider bhakti, and in the Vishishta Advaita or the Ramanuja Sampradaya, they call it Sharanagati, I think, or Prapatti, I believe.
Yes.
So, how is it different? They are the two sides of the same coin. So, I mean, it's just a different terminology, or they think that it is different.
You see, Prapatti or Kainkarya is something we have to understand the concept. Prapatti is a state of existence. Try to understand this thing. Bhakti is defined as a kriya by Shri Rupa Goswami. Anushilanam. Bhakti is an activity. Prapatti is a state of existence, Mataji. What is Prapatti? Let's say today a devotee is in a good state of mind and is able to follow the practices of bhakti nicely. He or she should still be fully surrendered to Bhagavan. Tomorrow, if the devotee wavers and becomes weak, depressed, is not able to follow the regulative principles nicely, still the devotee should remain fully dependent on Bhagavan. This state of existence, despite the highs and lows that happen in one's devotional life, is called Prapatti, where you are fully surrendered despite whatever condition you are put into. That is what you call Prapatti, Ainkarya, Sharanagati. This is a state of existence, Mataji. Whereas how does Rupa Goswami define? Rupa Goswami, you have to actively chase bhakti by performing activities. Anukulyena Krishnanushilanam. Not just, whatever state I am, I surrender to Narayan. That's Kainkarya, that's Prapatti. But not only that, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam. Perform activities every day. Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyamatma, Nivesa. Sadhan Bhakti is very important. That is Shri Rupa Goswami's focus on in Bhakti Rasamrita. So I hope you are able to understand a fine distinction, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji, but isn't Prapatti include? I mean, doesn't Bhakti include Sharanagati? Typically,
Bhakti,
we always
understood. Bhakti includes Sharanagati. Sharanagati is considered as a requirement on the path of Bhakti. Understood. But Shri Vaishnava say that Sharanagati or Prapatti in itself is sufficient to attain the grace of Bhagavan Narayan.
Okay.
Right?
Yes. Thank you so much for this wonderful clarification. It was really very profound. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranams.
Vishwaldeep Prabhuji, please unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So thank you for the class. It was a huge amount of information for us, a single class. So I have few questions regarding to today's class. The first question is for Ramanujacharya, you told that Ramanuja Sampradaya that cause and effect are the same. But isn't it like the Advaitavad that Sarvam Khalu Idam Brahma, that everything is Brahma? So how that is different from Advaitavad that cause and effect is the same? What is the means for effect? What is the reason?
Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma is a Vedanta Vakya. It is an Upanishad Vakya. Nobody can deny that. So it's not that this was not made by Shri Adi Shankaracharya. Everything is Brahman. But according to the Shri Vaishnava Sampradaya, there is Karan Brahma and Karya Brahma. What is the meaning of Karan and Karya? Can you tell us?
Karan is the cause and Karya is the effect.
Wonderful. So this material world is Karan or Karya?
Karya.
Effect. And who is the Karan?
Bhagwan or the Param Narayan.
Speak from Shri Vaishnava terminology. Brahma. Who is the Karan?
Brahma.
And the Karya also has Brahma, yes or no?
Yes.
So, because Vishnu is present every Veveshti Vyapnoti iti Vishnu. He who is all pervading within the Karya effect is also Vishnu. And the Karan is also Vishnu. So, but the Karan and Karya, both Vishnus have infinite divine qualities, yes or no? So the Karan Brahma is also endowed, is Vishishta, and the Karya Brahma is also Vishishta. And Vishishtam cha, Vishishtam cha. Vishishte. Vishishtam cha, iti Vishishte. You understand Sanskrit? Vishishtam cha, Vishishte. Tayor Advaitam. Iti Vishishta Advaitam. I hope you are able to understand. Okay.
And the second question is, like we know that there are 5, like you told that 5 tattvas mainly discussed in Bhagavad-gita, and one of that is karma, which you told that is nitya. But we see that in Padma Puran, it is said that aprarabdham phalam bijam. So how we can say that karma is nitya?
Karma as the sum totality of all the karma of the living entities is eternal. Karma as a principle is eternal. That's why the material world is eternal. Right?
I have 2 questions which is not directly related to class. Should I ask in the second time?
Yeah, you can wait. Let's let the devotees who have the queries directly related to the class finish, then we can have yours again.
Shri Yesha Panishad Mataji, please unmute yourself.
Jai, Hare Krishna. Please
Pranams.
accept my obeisance. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and to your wonderful service. Hari Bol. Wow. We're back at the battlefield, Kurukshetra and Hanuman and his presence. What was the reason again that Hanuman wanted to know the Bhagavad-gita? What was that reason? What was the point? And you said that Krishna told him that he was a servant of Lord Ram. So
Yeah.
isn't that one and the same?
No, it's not the same, because when a particular personality is known as the servant of a particular incarnation, that particular identity should remain. Just like Shri, Rup and Sanatan Goswami, they requested Anupam Goswami, we will give you Diksha in Krishna mantra. You chant Krishna mantra. But Shri Anupam Goswami refused. But aren't Ram and Krishna the same, Mataji? Please tell me.
Yes.
So why did Shri Anupam Goswami refuse? So
Why?
the answer to that, why did Shri Murari Gupta refuse Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's offer? The answer to those questions is the answer to your question.
Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. Jai. Hari Bol. Thank you so much.
Parananda Prabhuji, please unmute yourself.
Dhanavad Param Prabhuji. My question is, the Shankaracharya, Advaita one. But at the end, he says, Bhaj Govindam, and he refuted his own kind of teaching throughout. Is this true, or that's what my doubt was?
Okay, Shri Adi Shankaracharya at the end said Bhaj Govindam. See, the Vaishnavas like to quote this, that at the end he says Bhaj Govindam. But those who are followers in his sampradaya, they know that Bhaj Govindam is ultimately for them a means to merge into the impersonal Brahman. Right? So finally, Bhaj Govindam for what? Bhaj Govindam in order to become Brahmaleen. That is their merge into the impersonal Brahman. That is their philosophy. And we have a disagreement with that point. Therefore, when they perform bhakti also, that bhakti is ultimately for merging into the absolute impersonal Brahman, which we do not agree with, because Vaishnav Mukti is not to merge into the impersonal Brahman. Right?
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Krishna Das, Prabhuji, please unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanavad Pranam.
Pranam.
Prabhuji, this question I had asked you in person in message, but still I am asking it here. Prabhuji, in the Bhagavad-gita, where Bhagavan Shri Krishna mentioned the qualities of soul, there he mentioned that the soul is everywhere and it is achal. So, in the Shankaracharya's philosophy, they said that Brahman is there is nothing. Brahman is all pervading and Brahman is everywhere. So, in this context, the achal term they can explain it. They can explain it that Brahman is everywhere. So we can say that Brahman is achal. The soul is achal. But in the Vaishnava philosophy, how can we explain it or how can we understand it? The
Yes,
achal.
speaking about the verse Achedyoyam, Adahyoyam, Akledyo,
Yes.
Ashosheva, Chanitya, Sarvagata, Sthanu, Rachaloyam, Sanatan.
Yes.
This is 24th verse of the second chapter of the Bhagavad-gita, right?
Yes. Yes. Prabhu.
Yes, refer to Sridhar Swami. Sridhar Swami Guru Karimani. Sridhar Anugat Karo. Bhagavad Vyakyan. Can understand it by Sridhar Swami's commentary. Have you seen Sridhar Swami's commentary?
Yes, Prabhuji, I read the Bengali, the Bhaktivinoda Thakur, but I cannot exactly understood that.
See here. This is Sridhar Swami. Sarvagataha. What is the meaning of Sarvagata? Living entity can go anywhere in the universe, all places in the universe. Agreed or not?
Yes, Prabhuji.
From all the way from Brahma down to, a small blade of grass. Is the living entity Sarvagata? Yes or no?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Sthanu. Sthanu means Sthira Swabhavo. Sthira Swabhava means Rupantar Apatti Shunya. The living entity by itself does not take different forms. The living entity by itself does not have it. The living entity has a fixed particular shape. What is the fixed form and shape? The tip of a hair, 1/10,000th of a tip of a hair. And Achalaha. Achalaha Purva Rupa Aparityagi. Purva Rupa Aparityagi means never, living entity, never gives up its nature of that minuscule atomic nature. That is what it is.
Oh, that's okay.
So just understand how Sridhar Swami is given.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, do you have time for more questions?
Yeah, a lot of time. No problem.
Okay, there is a question in the chat. Suksavi Mataji saying, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, thanks for the beautiful class. You explained about Karna and Kriya and Brahma. How does the Jiva fit in here?
What is the question?
She's asking how you explained about Karna and Kriya and
Yeah.
Brahman. How
Karan,
does it? Oh, sorry, Karan and Brahman. How does the Jiva fit in here?
Karan and Karya Brahma.
Yes.
How does the Jiva fit? Jiva is Amsha of Brahma. And Brahma is Amshi. So, Shesha Sheshi. Brahma is Sheshi. Jiva is Shesh. That is what Jiva and Brahma relationship is in the Shri Vaishnava. Shesha Sheshi Nyaya. Which means Brahman is the main and Jiva is dependent on it. That is what it is. Jiva cannot be Karan because Jiva is not the cause of the universe. Is the Jiva the cause of the universe, Mataji?
No.
No. Is Jiva the effect of Brahman? If Jiva will be the effect, then which means Jiva will have to be produced in some point of time.
Yeah.
But if Jiva is produced at some point of time, then Jiva will not become non-eternal. Is Jiva the Karya?
No.
So, neither is Jiva Karan Brahma, nor is Jiva Karya Brahma. Right? Jiva is Amsha of Brahma, but Sanatana Amsha. Right.
Shri Harirana Mataji, please unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you for giving such a lovely, nice class today, and I feel very blessed to be here to hear this class. And I just wanted to ask you for can you give us all blessings to attain Krishna consciousness and Bhagavad Prapti in this lifetime? All of us, whoever is in the class and whoever is not in the class, and to attain the Shuddh Bhakti in this lifetime, and to attain the Bhagavad Vrindavan Dham in this lifetime. And when we die, we return back to Krishna. Please can you bless all of us? Hare Krishna.
Right. This is a this is not a question, this is a request. Mataji, what I would say is that different living entities, according to their eligibility, are given different results. If somebody has the eligibility for Vaidhi Bhakti, then they will get Vaidhi Bhakti irrespective of whether I bless them or I don't bless them. If somebody has Lobha, which is the qualification of Raganuga Bhakti, then they will get Raganuga Bhakti irrespective of whether I bless them or I don't bless them, because they are already blessed with a specific adhikar from previous lives. Blessing is not within my adhikar because I am also younger in age to many of the individuals who are present here. Therefore, I can only say a prayer to Bhagavan that may Bhagavan help everybody attain a higher level of adhikar than what they currently are on. So this prayer I can definitely say to Shri Bhagavan, and this is also appropriate for me, for my age. ठीक है Mataji?
Thank you, Hare Krishna. I was told if a devotee prays or give blessings, Krishna will make it happen. So sorry if I asked something that was
No, you have asked, your asking is not incorrect. But if I give it, then it will be incorrect. That
it
is
will
what it is.
be incorrect because maybe Krishna will make it happen.
Yeah, and I, it is not within my power to influence Krishna at this point of time, but I can definitely pray that may Shri Rupa Goswami help everybody attain the level of adhikar that is required for his sampradaya. That I can pray. Right.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Dandavat from all of us. Hare Bol.
Sukhsagi Mataji, please unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dhanva Pranams. I hope you're able to hear me, Prabhu. I'm on the road, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Prabhuji, I just had a follow-up to your answer. Thank you so much for the answer. But I was wondering, Prakriti is also eternal in one sense, right? So why we categorizing that as Karya Brahman and why Jiva as Amsha?
I didn't understand.
Prabhuji, Prakriti is also eternal in one sense, right? Prabhu?
But Prakriti is the effect. Prakriti has changes. Isn't it so? Huh?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So Prakriti is Karan or Karya?
Karya.
Karya. And Jivan is Karan. Prakriti is Karan or Karya, Mataji? Karya, right?
Yes, Prakriti is Karya.
And Jiva is Karan or Karya? Or none of these?
Neither.
Wonderful. So Prakriti is effect. But within that effect also there is the Supreme Brahman.
Okay, Prabhuji. And what exactly would you mean by effect in that sense, Prabhu?
Effect is that which is produced from a cause. There is the producer and the produced. There is a relationship of producer and produced. That is what the effect is, right, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
The coming into existence of something which was not existing prior to a certain point of
Big sister થઈ ગયું
So the coming into existence of something which was not existing prior to a certain point of time. That is what we call an effect. Right?
Sure, Prabhu. So are you saying that Prakriti is not eternal in that sense, Prabhuji?
She is not eternally manifest. Sometimes she is unmanifest as Pradhan. And when she becomes manifest, she is known as Prakriti. That's the difference between Pradhan and Prakriti, right? Unmanifest is known as Pradhan.
So we are referring.
Yes.
So we are referring to the manifest Prakriti as the Karya.
Obviously. How can an unmanifest be Karya? Manifest is Karya.
Sure, Prabhuji. Thanks
See,
so much, Prabhuji,
as soon as you get to hear a few Vedantic terms, the mind starts, exercising itself, and this is good for us. We should all spend some time exercising our minds daily. So this is our Vaishnava philosophy. We should understand it in depth. Right.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I would like to read some chat messages.
Sure.
Kirtila Sundari Mataji is saying, excellent session. Thank you so much. And Sumi Mataji is saying, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I would like to render my appreciation rather how at the depth of your knowledge, we got the opportunity to think and know about all acharyas who have contributed to the spread of Vaishnavadi philosophy. Thank you for that. Once again, I would like to thank His Grace Hari Parshad Prabhuji for his valuable time and his wonderful association this morning. Thank you for a very beautiful, informative class, Prabhuji. We look forward to your association in the near future. Dear devotees, if there's no more questions or realizations, I would like to pay my obeisances to His Grace.
Mataji, I have a small question.
Sure, go ahead.
Prabhuji, in last class of this Sangha, in Janmashtami, I think, you give us the definition of the term Jayanti. You told that it is a technical term, Ashtami Krishna Pakshasya. So it is, if we consider that tomorrow is the day when Gita was spoken, so should we term it as Jayanti or not?
Wow. See, Prabhu, I didn't want anyone to ask this question. Of all the questions that I'm afraid of, this one is something that I'm afraid of the most. Right? And I wanted to somehow avoid this question, but you asked it. Gita Jayanti is a rather recent festival started in India. It is not mentioned in the Hari Bhakti Vilas. As a Brahmana, I have to speak the truth, and I cannot hesitate from speaking the truth. Gita Jayanti is a recent festival that was started in India. It is not mentioned in the Hari Bhakti Vilas or any of the previous Vaishnava Sampradayas. The date was determined by the calculation of some Shankaracharya. I will give you the name of a book in which this was mentioned. With some difficulty, I was able to find this book and I was able to scan this book. This book is called Gita Jayanti or Bhishmotranti. So let me show you the cover of this book. I'm sharing my screen. So this is Gita Jayanti or Bhishmotranti. It's the understanding that this is Gita Jayanti is a very recent one. Even during Srila Prabhupada's time, there was no celebration, as far as I know, of Gita Jayanti. Srila Prabhupada didn't have a separate celebration on Gita Jayanti. And another fun fact is that Bhishma Panchak has nothing to do with Bhishma Pitamaha's giving up of his body. The original name is Pancha Bhishmak, 5 days of extreme fasting, which has somehow become Bhishma Panchak, right? So originally the vrata is named Pancha Bhishmak, not Bhishma Panchak. And Bhishmak means severe. So Pancha Bhishmak means final 5 days of Kartik are for severe fasting. They are called Pancha Bhishmak. The description of Pancha Bhishmak is there in the Puranas. It was narrated by Bhishma Pitamaha to Maharaj Yudhishthir, but there is no mention that Bhishma Pitamaha followed this on the final 5 days. Because of a misunderstanding that Bhishma Pitamaha followed this on the final 5 days, so we start thinking that Bhishma Pitamaha passed away on the last day of Kartik, and then we try to find out when Bhagavad-gita and Bhagavad-gita is after that. So how come Bhagavad-gita was spoken after Bhishma Pitamaha passed away? That's because of our misunderstanding. Bhishma Panchak has nothing to do with the final 5 days of Pitamaha Bhishma. And at least the Hari Bhakti Vilas has no mention. Hari Bhakti Vilas mentions Bhishma Panchak, but does not say that it is anything to do with the final 5 days of Pitamaha Bhishma. But the Hari Bhakti Vilas doesn't mention Gita Jayanti at all. Gita Jayanti is a recent phenomenon. All right. So sorry to, sometimes you are invited for a Gita Jayanti class, and at the end of the class, you are asked such a question. So therefore I said I'm afraid of the question. And but you can do some research about Gita Jayanti, because you know the Sanskrit language, Prabhu. You can do some little research, try to find out the origins of Gita Jayanti, and you'll come to know. Right? Sure.
Thank you for that, Prabhu.
Right. It's good to have one day for Gita. Let's call it one special day for Gita.
Dear devotees, if there's no more questions or realizations, I would like to pay my obeisances to His Grace, Hari Parshad Prabhuji, and all assembled devotees. Do I have your permission to close the call, Prabhuji?
Yes, yes. Thank you, Mataji. After the last answer, I'm sure there are no more questions. They're all.
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu cha patitanam pavnebhyo Vaishnavyo namo namah. Anant koti Vaishnav ki jai.
Hari Parshad Prabhu ki jai.
Hari Parshad Prabhu ki
jai.
Prabhupada ki jai. Chalo, Prabhupada.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Very, very nice class. Detailed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all devotees. Thank you for being there. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam.
We'll end here, dear devotees. And then please stay tuned for further announcements for today. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.